just some bits and pieces of wood that I cut. Actually, they're off this tree here that I trimmed before we built the shed. So there may be 3 or 4 months old. They've been lying here for 3 or 4 months. That is a sugar maple. So let's try one of these first. We'll get the machine sparked up and see how we get on. Well folks, a little bit of a break there to change battery. I thought we might try some green stuff next, so I cut a small maple down. I'll show you. It's we have an awful lot of maples here, far too many really. They crowd out the oaks and the beeches and things that are really what should be here. So I'm gradually thinning them out and trimming them back. So this was just, as you see, a pretty small one that I just cut down just a few minutes ago for your viewing pleasure. And thought it'd be good to show you what really green wood does, especially with all the leaves and what happens there. So I'm just going to bring the machine around again and we'll have a look. I sharpened my saw as well. I got fed up with it's no fun using a blunt chainsaw and it's dangerous anyway. Get kicked back. It's quite easy to drag this thing around. It's not like, it does require a bit of a pull, especially if the ground's rough. You can probably see the river's in full flood right now, but when it's not, I take this thing down there to help clean up, and it's a bit of a heavy load to pull up and down the ridge line, but it works. I would attach it to the garden mower and pull it around. It's just I've never been quite sure how stable it is side to side when I go over the bumps. At some point I'm going to put a longer axle on just to give it a little more stability, and then I'll probably pull it with the mower. So let's clear ourselves a space. Some old dead stuff I find lying around that we can try out also. So I don't like having debris in my work area, so I'm just going to pull this stuff away. And perhaps we'll start with this bit. So I guess what I should do with a bit like this is get the shears out and just cut off the twigs, but actually I'm going to try and just put it all in one go, and we'll see how that works. Here's how the leaves come out. This isn't designed to shred leaves, but it kind of does anyway, you know. I mean, that stuff will mulch down pretty quickly. Clear difference between that old dead wood and the fresh maple in colour. I'm beginning to think I may need to just sharpen up this blade a little. It seems to be making just slightly heavier work of it than it did when I first got the machine, and I've used it for several months now and I haven't ground the blade at all, so I'll do that soon. You may have noticed that when you have bushy pieces like this, you can actually, it will take them, if you can kind of maneuver them in far enough that the chipper cuts the union here, then you can pull one half out and feed the other in. That actually works pretty easily once you get the hang of it. So let's carry on. Once in a while you do meet something that's just too bushy. I need to snip that off. This one too. But most of the time you can find a way to jam them in. It certainly saves time if you can. Well, that wasn't too much work to get mostly rid of a small sized tree. This kind of piece is probably right on the edge of what the machine can handle. If I cut off the knobbly bit at the end here, I'm sure I could feed it in probably most of the way. But once I get to this end, which is about 3 by 3.5 inches, it's really just too big to feed and it just gets jammed up. I'm sure the machine could deal with it, but it won't fit through the hole. And actually something this size, I'll just cut it up for firewood. I'll make 3 good logs out of that. And the remaining remainder of the stump the same. This is big enough for me to chop for wood, so I'm not worried about chipping this size of material. Well, that's it for today. Hope you found this useful, and I'm sure I'll post again about this machine. Thanks for watching.